Hey guys, thanks for tuning in. I'm Kyle, the founder and CEO of Eighth and Furman. This is session 3, Fundamentals for Building an Ever-Evolving Personal Brand. Stay tuned for an exciting conversation with moderator Evan Majors and featured guest LaToya Forever. This is one you don't want to miss.
What's up, everybody? I'm Evan Majors, owner of Major Media and Casting, and I will be your host for session 3. I'm very excited to be joined by our next guest. She is an entrepreneur, a content creator, a host, a reality TV personality, and one of the original pioneer OGs of YouTube. She's also Canadian, and she's a dope mom, Miss LaToya Forever.
Yes, that's me. Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely, absolutely. It's interesting because I feel like you've been in my peripheral for since the early days of YouTube. When I was at Revolt TV, you might not remember this, but when I was at Revolt TV as the head of casting, I actually reached out to you to see if you wanted to audition to be the host of our live show. Do you remember that?
I don't remember that. I get many opportunities in the emails, but I don't remember that. Why didn't you have anyone call me, DM me? I would have.
No, we actually had a conversation.
Oh, we did.
We actually had a conversation. So, but yeah, it was like 2012, 2013. So it was a while ago, but it's like you've always been, like I said, in my peripheral. So it's like I've watched you grow, and it's been an amazing journey to see how far you've come and that you are still killing the content game.
Thank you so much. I've been doing this full time since 2012, and I just thank God every day that I'm still here, I'm still relevant, and I'm an OG. And I'm just going to claim that, because it used to drive me crazy when people would call me OGs, but now I'm just like, you know what? What's an OG even mean again? Original gangsta. Yes.
Exactly. Pioneer.
I'm a pioneer in this industry. Yes.
Pioneer. I love it. Well, Listen, I have so many questions to ask you, and we don't have a ton of time. So let's just jump in. I'm curious. Let's kind of go back for a moment and tell me what made you decide to pick up the camera in the first place and get on YouTube and just start being yourself. And what were you doing before then?
Okay, so I've always loved to entertain. I'm this ball of energy, and my friends and family are like, girl, you are going to be an actress, you're going to have your own show. And this is around the time when YouTube was really popping. And I'm like, you know what? I need to start documenting anything that I have going on. I started off in the comedy space where I created relatable comedy. So types of students in the classroom, types of girlfriends, boyfriends, types of drunk girls in the club. And I just decided to put myself out there in an authentic way. And I was able to, build a following quite fast because I was just one of the first really doing it.
And yeah, you were just funny, and you were funny.
Yeah.
You certainly were one of the only Black females at the time that I knew about that just kind of exploded.
Right. Yeah. I think that humor most definitely resonates with everyone. And because it was humor that everyone can relate to, it was also being shared on various platforms like Facebook, and well, that was the only platform back then. And so it has been an amazing journey so far.
Now, was there a moment like back in the early days
Mhm.
when you realized like, oh, like I could do this for a living, even before the term like content creator was like a real thing?
Oh my gosh. So when YouTube, like, I was on the platform for a few years, but then when YouTube started this partnership program where they would select creators to be in this program, they would put ads on their videos. So every 1,000 views your channel got per video, they would pay you. And I was like, oh, wow. So now they're starting to pay influencers. I was just doing this for free. I was doing this because I was genuinely excited to entertain my audience. And I was genuinely excited to just put myself out there in hopes that a network would discover my personality. But little did I know, I was creating my own show. And another thing that happened that made me realize that this could be, something special. This could be a career. Pepsi, they reached out to me in the early days of YouTube, and they wanted me to host the Super Bowl after party that they were having. And they paid me like 5 figures. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like, they want me to be a part of this experience and pay me. This is amazing. And they flew me out to New Orleans. So that is when it put everything into perspective, that not only am I a creator, but I can actually get paid and make a living doing something that I love to do, which is entertain.
What are some of the biggest differences between that you see between then in those early stages and now, when now everyone knows what an influencer is, and you were using these terms now, and it's huge now?
The biggest difference back then, it wasn't so oversaturated, and people were just authentically creating content and just trying to make a difference, bringing value, making people laugh. And now I feel like it's so oversaturated, and it's become like this game, like they're in a race, like let's see how many views and subscribers and likes I can get. So it's not as authentic as it once was when I first started out. It most definitely has changed. Not
What
saying
is
that it's a terrible platform to be on, but I'm just saying that it has changed because everyone wants to do this,
No, for sure, for
Yeah.
sure. What's your current opinion? What's your opinion on the current state of YouTube?
Can I be honest?
Be honest.
I
We're
just
having
think
an open, real conversation.
I just think that because people want that get quick rich, they just do everything and anything for attention, and then it makes the platform feel fake. And I don't want to be a part of that side. I'm on the side where, okay, we're bringing value, we're entertaining people, we're making people laugh. But then you have that side where people just want the cloud and they want the fame and they want the views. But I do things because I genuinely want to do them. I don't do it for the views and the likes and the love. I feel like I've established myself in that sense. But yeah, people do outrageous things now for attention.
And I mean, look, I mean, and speaking of just, people wanting to be famous, as a casting director, like that's something I see all day, every day, like
Mhm.
there's this need for people. They're hungry for fame. They're hungry for their 15 minutes.
Right,
But we also live in this age of transparency.
right.
So I'm wondering, how important is brand authenticity when it comes to establishing yourself as a creator?
I think it's top priority, like being authentic, being true to who you are. When I started documenting and vlogging my pregnancy journey, I just made sure to put myself out there in a real way. As I said before, I started out doing comedy videos, but then when I got pregnant, I was like, you know what? Maybe I can document this. And I started to put myself out there in a different way. This crazy girl is now transitioning into motherhood, and I started to document that in an authentic way. So I've always been true to who I am. I've always just been myself, really.
So yeah, it's interesting because you've essentially cast your family more recently in your content, like your Aunt Jillian, your grandparents, your 3 kids. And you mentioned your pregnancy, like you decided to take audiences on your pregnancy journey.
Right.
And so I'm wondering, what made you decide to be so open about your life in that way? And do you think it helped you? Do you think it helped you land more deals?
You know what? I wasn't really thinking of, in my mind, I was thinking, okay, I'm family oriented. I love my family. I just wanted to get their reactions. I wanted them to be a part of this journey. I didn't know that I was, creating this whole show around my life. It only came about when my audience, they were like, oh my gosh, we want to see more of Auntie Jillian, or we want to see more of your grandparents. And then that's when I was like, you know what? This is my YouTube reality show. And so I started to document, their personalities more and what they were doing in their lives. And everything just really did blow up. And now I was in this like mommy vlogging realm as opposed to this crazy comedian girl. And it most definitely opened up more doors to land bigger partnerships with Target, with the Walmarts of the world, the Sephora's, baby brands, Pampers, because I was selling my family. Well, I shouldn't say selling. I was showcasing. I was showcasing my family, and they helped me get a check or 10.
But I mean, it seems as if you, like you said, you were doing, it was just kind of a natural thing. It wasn't something that you were necessarily setting out to do.
Yeah, I didn't plan it. I didn't script it. I was just like, okay, I'm pregnant. I'm going to my aunt's house. My uncle's about to cook some jerk chicken and rice. Let me document that, and the people loved it. They just loved my family. They fell in love with my family, and they looked forward to my vlogs every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And so we kind of turned it into a show as time went on. So we had like cool intros every season, and it just turned into this really fun YouTube reality show that everyone enjoyed. I was one of the first, by the way.
Absolutely. Let's remind them. I
was one of the first.
And so do you feel like, because again, we live in a social age now, and people want to feel like they're a part of a moment, right? Mm-hmm. And so as a creator, for those people who might be trying to become creators, how do you create a moment on social media?
For me, since it's a part of me and since it's engraved in me, I'm creating moments every single day. Like I have my assistant here who's capturing this moment, Creating moments for me is all about, using my skin, like what's my skincare routine and documenting that, or like, what am I wearing to pick up the kids, like fun things that I'm doing with the children, what I'm cooking on my weight loss journey. So I create moments in that sense where it's just like I'm naturally creating moments every single day.
So it doesn't necessarily have to be, again, because I want to just make sure we're giving some takeaway.
Yeah.
So it doesn't have to be kind of this big thing. It can just be what you're normally doing anyway, in terms of creating those moments.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And for me as a casting director, one of the traits I look for when I'm casting a show is people who are unfiltered. you know? And so when you look at someone like a Cardi B, who is, you know, one of the biggest global superstars now, she was being very unfiltered on her Instagram. And
Right.
that's why people fell in love with her.
Right.
How did you make the transition to being cast on season 13 of The Real Housewives of Atlanta? How did that come about?
Okay, so as you said, I'm from Toronto, right? And I moved to Atlanta for opportunity. And not even a month in, I met Candy. And then a few months later, I was interviewing Candy, and she was like, "Oh my gosh, LaToya, you're so authentic. You're so dope. Like, you need to be on The Real Housewives of Atlanta." So she put the word out there, and they casted me, and I landed. I was a cast member, a part-time cast member.
And so what was going on in your life? Because obviously, like, we know these shows, there needs to be storylines. What was going on in your life where, you know, the folks at the network felt like, okay, you have enough going on in your life that you would be a good addition to the cast?
So for me, I was a part-time cast member. I wasn't full-time. Like, I didn't have the peach, you know? So for me, I just think that they genuinely loved the connection that Candy and I had. And they also loved the connection that Kenya and I had as well. It was authentic, it was real. And I feel like my personality is what they enjoyed about putting me on. They were like, okay, let's put LaToya on the show because she's funny, she's crazy, like, she's unfiltered. Let's see what she can do on the show. And so I want to say this because as a part-time cast member, you don't really get to show all angles, like everything that you do. They only had me in settings, like friendship settings, you know, and in friendship settings, we all know there's drama. So then I started to look like this drama queen. LaToya is always in some drama, but that's not the only thing I have going on in my life. I'm a mother. I run multiple businesses. You know, I'm in an amazing relationship. So they weren't able to capture all of those moments. And it kind of sucked because it did stain my image a bit because, you know, the audience got to see just one part of me. And although it was fun for them to watch, it wasn't fun for me as an influencer because I did miss out and I did lose a few opportunities because of that stain on my character.
Interesting. Yeah, and I was going to ask you that too. I mean,
Yeah.
like, how difficult was the transition? Because I think a lot of creators, a lot of influencers feel like, oh, you know, I have a big personality, I have all these followers, I could have my own TV show. Like, how different was it from creating your own content, controlling your own narrative, and then being part of this huge machine with lights and cameras and people? And like, how different was it to step onto that side?
It was so different. Like you said, you know, it's just me, you know, I have my camera, I'm documenting my life, you know, I'm in creative control of how I put myself out there, as opposed to being on television. You don't get that creative control. I can't go to the editors and say, oh, I don't like how my hair looked in that scene, or I didn't like what I said to this person. Like, can you edit that out? You don't have that creative control, you know? And it just takes like a leap of faith in knowing that, okay, what you do and say can potentially harm you in the future. But with reality, you can always, you know, restore those moments that you felt like you embarrassed yourself or you said something that you didn't want to say. You can always redeem yourself.
Now, would you recommend other creators pursue reality TV opportunities?
That's a tough one. That's a tough one. It's just two different machines, you know. Like, what my first shooting, we were at Andretti's, and they were like miking me up. I'm like, okay, so I'm getting mic'd up. Okay. Then they're like, okay, go over there and speak to her. And then like the cameras are in your face. And it's like, it's just a different world and all the lights, camera, action, you know? And at first I didn't know how to move, but once you get the hang of it, it becomes easier. But then when you see the show, it's like, oh shoot, I said that. Why did I say that? You know? So it just takes confidence, and it just, if that's something that you want to do, most definitely put yourself out there, but learn from it as you go. Like I would most definitely change up how I presented myself on television. Well, no, I shouldn't say that. What I am going to say is my position has to be where I'm able to showcase all parts of me instead of me just being a friend. Like, let's showcase LaToya being a boss, a mom, you know, a creative, a social media influencer, because there's so many more parts of me. And I feel like that's important when it comes to being on reality television, is being able to showcase really all angles of who you are.
But then, as you said too, you know, you don't have that creative control.
You don't.
So again, you can be edited however they want.
Exactly. And so that's the part that traumatized me. It traumatized me, but that was most definitely a learning experience, and I would most definitely, you know, move a certain way. I would most definitely move differently if I do decide to go back to reality TV.
From that experience, did you take away anything that you have learned that you apply to your business today from having that experience on reality TV?
Absolutely. Okay. Like now, as an influencer, I just want to show up. Like I want hair, makeup, wardrobe. Okay. I want you to edit my videos. Listen, it's all about teamwork. It's a whole production on reality TV. And I was mind blown, really. I'm like, oh, wow. It takes a lot to produce a show. You know, a lot of people think, oh, it's just a reality show. They just point a camera in your face. No, they have so many different layers. Like my partner, he works in reality television. So I know like it from front to end and in between. It's a whole different ball game. And so I've implemented a few of what they do into my own business. So now I'm not editing my videos. You know, I do get my makeup and hair done. You know, I have my stylist helping me with my wardrobe. You know, it's a lot of work being an influencer, especially if you don't have a team. So my takeaway is, you know, building a team. That's what I learned from reality TV. Build a team, and so you're able to focus on other things that you're passionate about.
So, you know, there's a lot of people who are watching who want to know, like, how do they become a content creator? So, you know, let's say that there's a girl who's been in the content game for, you know, 5 years. Her views are down. Her engagement is low. She can't figure it out. What advice do you give her?
I don't believe that. I don't believe in the word can't. She can figure it out. It just takes a lot of effort and hard work. But my advice would be, and this is something that I applied to my own strategy, is we live in a world where things are trending every single day. So creating content in your space, creating content around those trends, but making it your own, you know? Yeah, you have to be up to the times and create content within the trends.
Let's say a mom with 2 kids wants to build a brand
Right.
on social. She wants to land some partnership deals, but she doesn't know where to start. What would your advice be to that mom?
Okay, so a mom, she wants to be a social media influencer, right? I'm a mom, I'm an influencer. So, you know what I love to do? I love to document my children. I love to take them on fun things like let's go to the aquarium, let's go to the Ferris wheel, documenting the kids doing fun things in your community, even little things like, okay, what are some lunch what are some lunch meals that you're making for the kids? What does dinner look like? What are the kids wearing to school? What are some mommy outfits that you can help me with? Start inspiring other moms and bringing as much value as you can into their lives, because at the end of the day, as a content creator, it's always about bringing value to my audience. So yeah, just creating mommy content and make sure it's PG, especially if you want to work with the targets in the world.
So it sounds like, again, it's really just about people starting with what they have and where they're at.
Right. You know what I find? A lot of people, they don't know where to start because they look at other influencers and they're like, okay, well, that person has that camera. That person, has this, has that. I don't know how to edit. You can always learn, and work with what you already have. I didn't have the best gadgets when I started. I just started to create. And as I grew and as I started to, make enough money, I would invest back into my content. So start with what you have. Everyone has a phone. Everyone could download an video editing software on their phone. Like, you can start today.
Which is what you didn't have back in those early days of YouTube.
Yeah, I didn't have good lighting. I didn't have a good camera. Okay. I don't even think I had a laptop. I had to use my dad's to edit my videos, So start with what you have. I know, there's so many people out there that may have more, but at the end of the day, if that's not your position, just start with what you have and you will eventually get there.
How important is it to leverage your social community to create your own business? So, as a creator, you don't have to depend on brand deals.
I am so big on that. I enjoy working with brands that align with my brand, but the thing is, it's not consistent. Let's say in January you get a huge brand deal, but you don't know when you're going to get the next deal. You know what I'm saying? So for me, I start businesses around my brand. So I have an activewear business and I have an amazing support system. So an amazing online community that supports everything that I do because they trust me. They know that I'm not going to put out any BS, So I was able to create a loyal following when it comes to my activewear brands. And then I'm also launching an academy to teach people what I do so they can turn their passion into profit as well. So creating businesses around your brand so you don't have to solely depend on brand deals or like YouTube ads. I don't even look at the YouTube ads. I don't even look at that. That's just extra. I like to focus on my businesses.
And do you think that's where a lot of the disconnect might be for a lot of creators who want to get started, that they're not focusing on their social community because they're so busy maybe trying to create content to get those brand deals?
Yeah, a lot of people are consumed with, oh my gosh, like I want to work with, Nike. I want to work with Sephora. And that's amazing because you can. But at the end of the day, don't put you creating your own business on the back burner. I think that should be at the forefront, because at least you can continue to work and push your brand, to make more money to provide for yourself and your family.
And speaking of businesses, what's next for you? What do you have coming up? Talk to me about your exciting new ventures.
Okay. So the most exciting venture that I have coming up is my academy coming soon. I don't want to give too much detail, but you guys can follow me on Instagram at the Hunty Academy. I'm going to be teaching you all the ins and outs of, I'm over here spilling it. I'm going to teach you how to shoot. I'm going to teach you how to edit. I'm going to teach you how to get this money. I'm going to teach you, because it's so oversaturated, and a lot of the time you don't know who to trust. You know, everyone wants to be a teacher. Everyone wants to be a coach, and they're not living the life, you know? Mm-hmm. I'm an OG. I've been there, done that, and I'm still here. I've been doing this for over 12 years. So why not learn from somebody who has all the skin in the game? And so that's something that I'm working on, and I'm just so excited to put it out into the world soon, okay? Because I'm in my teaching season. I want to teach.
I love it. I love it. Sign me up. Sign me up.
I will.
And then talk to me about your athletic apparel, your athleisure.
Yes. So LaToya Forever, it's all about the booty leggings. Okay. So, you know, girls want to look sexy in and out of the gym. And I created products to make them feel like that girl, you know? And so many of my hunties, I call my followers hunties, they send me their stories like, I'm in the gym and these booty leggings, and I'm talking to this dude right now. He said he liked my leggings. We're going out on a date. So yeah, feeling sexy. Own your sexy. I'm all about owning your sexy. So I sell sexy leggings, and my girls love it.
I love it. I love it. Would you do reality TV again?
Oh, that's a good question. You know, I did learn from my first go around, and I would definitely apply what I've learned to the next go around, and I know what to do and what not to do. So yes, I believe I will do reality TV again, but just on a new path, a new strategy, and not act like a crazy person like I did my first go around.
All right, but we should develop something together.
We should. I want my own show though this time.
You want to be the executive producer and creator. That's right.
Absolutely.
As you should.
So I can go back and edit the things that I don't like.
Exactly.
Take that part out.
Exactly. Listen, this was amazing. We are out of time, unfortunately.
Okay.
But thank you so much. This has been amazing. I hope that, you know, everyone was able to take something away from this conversation. Where can people find you again on social?
Yes. So on YouTube, type in LaToya Forever. Instagram, LaToya Forever. Don't forget to follow LaToya Forever for all your activewear needs, and also the Hunty Academy if you want to learn how to become a lifestyle creator like myself.
I love it. I love it. Thank you so much, Miss LaToya Forever. It was a pleasure.
Thank you for having me, Evan.
Absolutely.
I hope to work with you soon.
Yeah, let's do it. I'm down.
Okay, perfect. Love it. We have this all on live, and I'm recording it here myself.